It was the first Monday of the semester at Brookstone High, and everyone was buzzing about the new girl. Her name was Lila Carter, a quiet 16-year-old who had just transferred from another city. With her shy smile, old backpack, and second-hand shoes, she didn't fit in with the flashy crowd that ruled the school halls. The moment she walked in, whispers followed her like shadows. "Look at her clothes," one girl sneered. "She probably doesn't even have a phone." But Lila ignored them. She had learned long ago that silence was stronger than anger. During lunch, she found a corner seat and opened a small box, a sandwich, an apple, and a note that said, "Be brave today. Love, Mom." Just as she smiled at it, a loud voice echoed across the cafeteria. "Hey, new girl," shouted Brittany, the self-proclaimed queen of the school, surrounded by her group of loud, popular friends. "Why are you eating alone?" "Oh wait, nobody wants to sit with you." The group laughed. Lila quietly closed her box and stood up, but Brittany blocked her path. "You think you're too good to talk to us," she snapped. Lila whispered, "No, I just don't want trouble." That single line made the bullies laugh even harder. "Oh, she doesn't want trouble. How cute," sneered Chad, the school's biggest troublemaker. The next day, the bullying grew worse. Books knocked off her desk. Her bag thrown into the trash. Someone even scribbled "loser girl" on her locker in red marker. But Lila said nothing. Every day, she just came to school, studied quietly, and went home. But what nobody knew was that Lila's life outside school was far from ordinary. Her mother, Sarah Carter, was an investigative journalist who exposed corrupt systems and powerful people. Lila had seen strength in silence, and courage in calmness. But even she didn't expect that one cruel moment would change everything. It happened on a rainy Thursday. Lila was late to class, her clothes slightly damp, her notebook clutched against her chest. As she entered, Chad tripped her on purpose. She fell to the floor, her books scattering everywhere. Laughter filled the room. Then, to everyone's shock, Brittany kicked her. Not once, but twice. The class fell silent. Lila didn't cry, didn't scream. She just looked up, her eyes steady, her lip bleeding slightly, and said one quiet sentence that froze the entire class. "You'll regret that." Nobody understood what she meant. The teacher walked in moments later, and the bullies pretended like nothing happened. But what followed over the next 24 hours made headlines around the world. That night, Lila's mother came home to find her daughter sitting silently with a bruise on her cheek. Sarah's heart broke, but she didn't yell, she didn't cry. Instead, she opened her laptop. Within hours, she was writing an article titled, "What Happens When Schools Protect Bullies." She attached video clips. Yes, someone in class had recorded everything, and the footage leaked online. The video spread like wildfire. A girl kicked in class while others laughed. By morning, it had 10 million views. News channels picked it up. Reporters camped outside Brookstone High. The principal panicked. Brittany and Chad's parents received calls from national journalists. The world had seen what they did. By the next day, the school was forced to hold a press conference. Lila arrived with her mother, calm and composed. When asked if she forgave them, she said softly, "I don't want revenge. I just want people to understand what silence hides." The audience went quiet. Even the bullies looked down, ashamed. After the viral video, the world wanted to know who Lila Carter was. Major news outlets ran headlines like "Silent Girl, Global Voice," and "Teens Courage Sparks Anti-Bullying Movement." Messages poured in from parents, students, and even celebrities. Schools everywhere began reviewing their bullying policies. Lila had unknowingly started a worldwide movement for kindness. But fame didn't change her. She still wore the same old shoes, carried the same backpack, and smiled the same quiet smile. When reporters asked how she felt about the bullies, she replied, "Everyone has a story. Maybe they were hurt too. I just hope this helps them become better people." Those words melted hearts. Even Brittany, who had gone into hiding after the video blew up, couldn't sleep at night. She finally showed up at Lila's doorstep one evening, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I don't deserve your forgiveness." Lila looked at her for a long moment and said softly, Forgiveness isn't about who deserves it, it's about who needs peace. She hugged her, and the moment was caught by a neighbor's camera. That picture, the bully and the victim embracing, went viral again. It became a symbol of healing, shown in schools, printed on posters, and shared across millions of screens. Soon, Lila was invited to speak at conferences and schools. She stood before huge crowds, telling them how she found strength in kindness, and how one act of courage can change everything. Her message was simple: don't fight hate with hate. Shine so bright that darkness fades. Students began sharing their own bullying stories using the hashtag #BeBraveLikeLila. Within weeks, the hashtag trended worldwide, sparking school reforms in several countries. Meanwhile, Brittany and Chad faced public backlash, but instead of hiding, they joined Lila in her campaign. They visited schools together, telling students how guilt turned into purpose. The once mean bullies now taught others about empathy. It was a full-circle moment: the bullied, the bullies, and the world learning together. Months later, Lila received a letter from the United Nations, inviting her to speak on World Kindness Day. Standing before hundreds of world leaders, she shared her story, not as a victim, but as a voice for millions. Her words echoed in the hall. We cannot change the past, but we can choose what the world becomes next. Thunderous applause followed. That day, the shy new girl from Brookstone High became a global symbol of hope. Back home, Sarah watched proudly from the audience. When Lila returned, she found her mom smiling with tears in her eyes. You changed the world, sweetheart, she whispered. Lila shook her head gently. No, Mom. The world just needed someone to remind it to feel again.